Daily Devotionals with open hearts and open minds. First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado presents Hope and Coffee with Pastor Hugo Venegas.
Hi, this is Hugo Venegas. Welcome to our daily devotional. We have been looking this week at the question of who are these spirits in prison that Jesus went to preach to after his resurrection, based on 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 19 through 20. And we have seen that some commentators suggest that there were fallen angels, that there were demonic spirits, and today we're going to look actually at what it could say here in verse 20, because it says, "These are the spirits who disobeyed long ago when God waited patiently during the days of Noah while he was building the ark." So there are some scholars, some biblical commentators, who believe that the people that Jesus went to preach to were actually all those people who drowned during the flood. So these were the actual people who drowned during the flood. And we know that while Noah was building the ark, they ignored him, they made fun of him, they did not understand that God was going to judge the world, and they were clueless. And when it started raining, because he was building this ship in the middle of the desert, and no one paid any attention to him. They ridiculed him, and they continued to do their lives as they saw fit. So Jesus knew who these people were because he referred to them even in his ministry. So if you have your Bibles, I want you to turn to Matthew chapter 24, verses 36 through 42, because we have a clue as to who these people were. It says here, "No one knows about the day or the hour, not even the angels, nor the Son, but only the Father." All right, so here's Jesus talking to his disciples. He says, "No one knows the time when I will return. I don't even know when the day of judgment will be. Only the Father knows. The angels don't know." And he says, "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be in the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating, drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage up to the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away." So what is Jesus telling us about these people? Who are all these people? What do we know according to Jesus's description as to who these people were? What were they like? We know three things, and let me tell you because they're here in Matthew. Number one, these were party people. They loved to party. Because when Noah was building the ark, during all this time, they were eating and they were drinking and they were carrying on, and their lives, they just lived to party. They had no clue as to what God was up to. They did not give a rip about God. All they cared about was partying. So this is one thing that Jesus says. The second thing is they wanted to keep living their normal lives. And Jesus says here, and he says that they were marrying and giving in marriage. They were just, living and getting married and carrying on their lives. And there is nothing wrong with marriage. I want you to know. Jesus is not knocking marriage down. In fact, during this time, I have spent my late hours, just to be a little brain dead, watching Indian movies and with English subtitles. And there was such a beautiful actress in one of these movies, and I'm like, God, I wouldn't mind marrying her. I mean, she was absolutely beautiful. So there is nothing wrong with marrying. What Jesus is saying, these people wanted to carry on with their normal lives, starting their families, starting their relationships. But the problem was they were doing it without God into the equation. That's the problem. To start a business without God, to start a country without God, to get educated without God. They were living their normal lives without God. That was the problem. So what is the third thing? He says here, the third thing is that they ignored the warnings. Jesus said they had no clue. They kept living their lives, and they did not realize that judgment was coming upon the earth. They did not read the signs. They did not understand that they were going to face their Creator, and they were not ready because they lived their lives independently from God. They were clueless about God in their lives, and they were also absolutely clueless of the coming judgment. So these were the correct characteristics of those people who drowned in the days of Noah. And some commentators said Jesus went back to preach to them to help them understand what they had missed. And we will talk a little bit more about this. And tomorrow we will talk about the fourth option, the fourth interpretive option as to who these spirits in prison were. Hugo Venegas from Pueblo, Colorado. God bless you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us for our daily devotional, Hope and Coffee, with Pastor Hugo Venegas. If you enjoyed today's devotion, like or subscribe below. We also welcome you to join our family at First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado. You can visit our website at firstumcpueblo.org, and we hope you continue to have a blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow.